Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more real-life stories like this. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Don't embarrass me tonight. Her whisper hit me in the kitchen just as I was tying my tie, and something about it froze me. New Year's Eve, a night that was supposed to be full of laughter, champagne, and fireworks, suddenly felt tight, heavy, like the air itself had turned against me. I forced a smile, nodded, and walked toward her. "I won't," I said, though my stomach twisted with sudden unease I couldn't shake. It was the first odd thing she'd said all evening, but I brushed it off. Maybe she was just nervous about the party, about seeing co-workers she hadn't seen in months. I wanted to believe that. I needed to believe that. The night started normally. Friends, music, the hum of conversation, the clinking of glasses. But even then, subtle things began to prick at me like small, persistent thorns. She kept checking her phone under the table. Her smile a beat too quick, a little too forced whenever someone mentioned her work trip next week. "Everything okay?" I asked once, trying to keep my tone casual. "Yeah, of course," she replied, a little too sharply, and then laughed, glancing at someone across the room. My chest sank. I told myself I was imagining it. Maybe I'd been too tired. Maybe stress from work was making me paranoid. But then came the texts, little flashes of the hidden life I hadn't known existed. At first, it was just a message that popped up while she was distracted. "Can't wait to see you tonight." I froze. My mind raced. Could it be nothing? A friend? A harmless joke? But my gut screamed otherwise. She started excusing herself more often, lingering in corners with her phone, whispering behind closed doors. I noticed a subtle perfume, unfamiliar, lingering where it shouldn't, and that whisper from the kitchen earlier, "Don't embarrass me tonight," suddenly replayed in my mind, loaded with a meaning I hadn't grasped at the time. By the time midnight neared, I couldn't ignore it anymore. My hands shook as I glanced at her phone, left carelessly on the counter for a moment, and there it was, one text after another, messages meant for someone else, glowing with affection and secrets. "I can't stop thinking about you. Tonight was amazing. You make me feel alive. I wish I didn't have to leave." The room spun. My chest tightened until it hurt, each beat a drum of betrayal. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but all I could do was stare, numb and broken. I remember confronting her later, in the quiet corner of our bedroom while the city outside erupted with fireworks. My voice was barely more than a whisper, trembling with the weight of the truth. "Who is he?" Her face went pale. The usual defenses, excuses, and fake smiles vanished. For the first time, she looked small, fragile, human. Guilt clawed at her features. I didn't mean for you to find out like this," she admitted, voice cracking. "I didn't want to hurt you. It just happened." Her confession didn't bring relief. It brought fire, anger, heartbreak, disbelief, and sorrow all tangled into one. I felt like I was unraveling, thread by thread, in the quiet aftermath of the life I thought I knew. Memories replayed in sharp, bitter clarity. Every laugh, every touch, every late-night conversation now tinged with bitter, invasive suspicion. Moments that used to feel sacred fell hollow, scripted, rehearsed for someone else. I wanted to rage, to break, to run, to disappear. But I also wanted clarity. I needed to know why. And she, trembling and ashamed, laid it bare. Not just her desire, but the loneliness she felt, the unspoken grievances that had festered like hidden wounds, the thrill she sought in someone else that she thought she'd lost with me. We talked for hours, truth spilling like water from a broken dam. Painful, messy, deeply human. But the love that had once been our foundation, soft, trusting, steady, was cracked irreparably. I realized some things could not be fixed by apologies or promises. When dawn broke, I packed a bag quietly, no dramatic speeches, no shouting. I left a note. "I loved you. I tried, but I can't stay where trust has died." Walking out that morning, the cold air bit at my face, sharp and alive. Pain accompanied me like a shadow, but so did a strange clarity, a fragile sense of self-respect regained. I could rebuild, slowly, carefully, without betrayal marking every step. I never look back. The memories still sting, but they teach me now more than anger ever could. I learned to listen to that quiet whisper of intuition, to respect my own worth, and to never ignore the signs when love stops being enough. Even now, the lessons linger. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it awakens you. And heartbreak, as cruel as it is, can be the catalyst for reclaiming your life. So if there's one thing I hope you take from my story tonight, it's this: trust your instincts, protect your heart, and never stay where you're not valued. If this story hit you hard, drop a comment below and tell me how you would have reacted. And make sure to subscribe if you want more real-life stories that are raw, emotional, and unforgettable.